What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 1.26%, 1218 the low, 1261 the high, but very low volume. So 4.5 million shares being traded, 9.6 is the average. Reason why the market is so hyped up today is because we did now have a second Fed speaker hinting at a December cut. So today we did have Waller. On Friday we had Williams. Market loves that. And so right now there is a 77.1% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut for the upcoming December meeting. As I've mentioned in my weekend video, a lot of the data that's coming out tomorrow is either going to propel this to 100% or potentially bring it back down to roughly around that 50% range. And so tomorrow we have ADP employment, PPI, retail sales, and consumer confidence. So pretty good stuff overall. Today there really hasn't been anything coming out from Lucid, no SEC filings, no press releases, nothing even speculative on social media. So I think it is just merely at the mercy of the broader market. Aside from that, you are seeing shorts taking advantage, and they are returning 402,000 shares. So you know me, I always like to analyze this type of information. So by shorts returning, it kind of does validate today's green day. 29.58% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 42.61 million shares overall being shorted. DTC sitting at 4.1 days, so it does signal that shorts are very overextended. That factors in kind of the average volume for Lucid in comparison to number of shares being shorted. Interestingly enough, over the weekend, I did see a surge of people talking about Lucid being a squeeze play. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's anything planned coming out. I know Lucid's still at the LA Auto Show for a little bit longer, but as far as I'm aware, there isn't anything planned coming out. So let me know your general thoughts on why, because of course it's social media, so people never really elaborate. They just say Lucid's ready for a squeeze. But yeah, so what's your kind of viewpoint? What do you actually, on a side note, think the next big catalyst for Lucid is? Because even just saying it out loud, I don't think there's really anything planned other than them just voluntarily giving information. But aside from all of that fun stuff, I did pop over to Costco over the weekend, and I feel like I have a new revenue source for Lucid. So bought this go-kart, absolutely amazing stuff. So this one's all decked out in Aramco and kind of all the city and all the decals like that. I feel like Lucid, if things don't go according to plan, they could always resort to doing this for Costco, like go-karts or whatever else. And because on a side note, I think probably the margins on this is much better than Lucid. So just kind of on a funny side note, but nonetheless, looking at the options, 592,000 in calls, 1.06 million in puts, and then 51% of all the options being done were bullish in nature. But aside from that though, from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $12.50 to $13 range. I would have anticipated a little bit more optimism, but clearly there is a certain level of hesitation still. But nonetheless, from a bearish standpoint, you do see a consensus for it to be roughly around 11.50 to 12. So where we are at, there's kind of a little bit more of a back and forth. One thing that I did like to see is a lot of institutions actually buying Lucid, because I always like to analyze where volume does come from. So based on this, you are seeing a lot of institutions buying. So of course, most of the volume, as per usual, is coming from algorithmic trading, just piggybacking off the broader market's optimism. But in the past, we've seen institutions actually take advantage and sell. That's exactly what happened on Friday. So algorithmic trading just pushed it higher. We had institutions selling. Today, it looks like it's completely the opposite. So definitely good to see. These are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000. So nothing significant. So the highest one for today, right now, it looks like it is about 264,000. So not too much. And again, it kind of matches with shorts not really doing too much as well. But with it at 1251, still trading between this S2 and this S3. So 1234 is a key support. And it really needs to hold, especially tomorrow and over the next couple of trading days. because if not, then you could see a retest of that 52-week low. Aside from all that fun stuff though, quickly popping over here on the actual chart, you are seeing a nice little bit of a recovery. One key resistance is going to be that 10-day moving average. Currently that is sitting at 1378. So if Lucid for whatever reason is able to get above that because of tomorrow's data, then you could see a nice kind of V-shaped recovery. Most likely you'll have algorithmic trading really buying up the broader market, no different than what happened in September when Lucid just went higher. Because for those of you that tuned into my videos during that time frame, it was very fun, very exciting, but it was largely driven by algorithmic trading. On a side note, it's good to see though a little bit more of a abnormal bump up in the volume lately, because you can see when it was starting to really move up in September, volume just stayed very low. But nonetheless, aside from all of that, there really hasn't been any articles coming out about Lucid. So I think everyone is just speculating on what is truly coming next. And on a side note, looking at the market position, you do see a little bit more willing buyers, but it's more oriented around that $12 range. So I don't know if big institutions are kind of waiting for maybe a pullback, then that's where they'll buy it roughly around that 12 or whatever else. Low for today on a side note, as I mentioned, is that 12.18. Aside from that, there really hasn't been any analyst ratings. Last one was out on the 17th, and that was done by Stifel. We already kind of generally know that because it caused a little bit of a sell-off. And as I always mention though, if you do truly believe in Lucid and that it is going to recover by, let's say, 2026, 2027, look at buying calls. Way too many people focus on day-to-day type of price action, and that's unfortunately a lot of my videos as well. It's kind of talking about what is affecting Lucid today, what might affect it this week. But if you do truly believe that Lucid will get back to, let's say, $25, and that represents a 99.12% upside, if you feel that's on the table by, let's say, December 2026, you can make 158.62% on a long call. Or you can make it a little bit more kind of complex and make a little bit more based on that, such as a long call spread, 341.64%. So let me know your thoughts on Lucid, and if you already are doing long calls, give yourself a shout out. One final thing, because of Black Friday, I did lower the prices of all the tiers on my stacked account. So if you're looking for some solid on point swing trades, I did lower that tier. Same with the buy alert. So I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, options as well on crypto. So definitely worthwhile to kind of pop over and check these out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.